Well, this is obviously a very tough and very massive issue to tackle in a minute. It's difficult because, as we all know, as was previously stated in this debate, it's a tough economic time. I think that the city's first focus has to be on improving the vital infrastructure of the city. That's your police, your fire, your roads, downtown lighting. That's obviously has to be key. I don't know, it's really a tough thing. So to get into this, they're in a lot, it's debt from their construction, and it's going to be difficult to find anyone to take on that debt right now. It's a very touchy subject that I really can't even get into the rest of. So I would put the city's critical infrastructure first and foremost, because that is a private enterprise and we need to put the public first. So,
Mark?
Well, I think you look at the figure of $12 million. That's a lot of money in the downtown area for an already expensive project. Now, this is kind of echoing what Jake said, but you look at priorities in the city, priorities in the district. What's going to directly affect the 98% students in the district? Well, that's going to be other things. So as far as accomplishing something, I'm all for the city trying to help out the Overture Center, but we have to prioritize and we have to figure out if we're going to have that amount of money after we address the things that are most important. So we got to look directly at where we're going to get that funding if we're going to go about doing that.
Brian?
You may have read that the owners of the Overture Center offered to sell the Overture Center to the city for $1. Now that sounds great, but you have to look at the strings attached to that $1. And like previously mentioned, it's around $12 million in $1 because of the construction debt that comes along with it. In such a hard economic time, the city cannot afford to take on that debt, and the taxpayers cannot afford that kind of expenditure right now. So what can the city do? I think the city can aggressively pursue some private fundraising efforts to be as proactive as we can to look at alternative funding sources. But I do not think that the city should or can afford to take on that $12 million in construction debt. But things we can do are to aggressively pursue private funding sources and coordinate and be visible presence on trying to do that.
Katrina?
Yeah, I think I agree with the folks that have talked, before me. I think that what this shows is a problem. In terms of the Overture Center came about because largely one large donation. It wasn't a community that came behind this project so much, rather than private funding. And I think that is ultimately the problem. Is just really when we do have a community behind a public arts venue, and the public arts venue really is opening its doors to the community, but not pricing folks out so much of being able to participate in that arts program. I think that's when community art programs are successful. And unfortunately for the Overture Center, I don't think it went down that way, and I think that should serve as an important lesson for us all when it comes to community arts programs. I think that's why I support so much more community arts programs that are by and for the community, particularly like community murals.